Hello and welcome. Come in and sit yourself by the fire. The world will go on outside this room, but here now with me, there are only the stories and time is stopped. Are you ready? I'll begin. Once upon a time, there was a place in the British Isles off the west coast of Alba where humans and fae folk shared the land in relative peace. The island's name was Collavar. Don't look for it on the map or search out at sea because the place has decided not to follow the ways of the rest of the world and has hidden itself away. At the time I'm speaking of, there were many kings in Scotland, and the king of Collavar was called Malcolm. He shared the rule of the island with the king of the fairies, whose name can never be spoken or written. When the sun was high, humans reigned, and during the moonlit hours, power went to the fairies and other dwellers beyond the veil. This was according to ancient custom and law. There was, however, on Collavar also a blood oath, by which the year was halved. A promise was made between human and fairy that from the spring equinox to the autumn equinox, King Malcolm would be the sole ruler of the inner and outer peoples of the island. And from the time of the oath, every year, the folk of Collavar celebrated the passing of the dark half of the year with great fires and plants that gave them visions of their ancestors and gods. The land bore them fruit, and they danced and made love and grew a little fat, knowing that they would have peace for the months to come. The great festival for the inner people, those we call the fairies, was the autumn equinox, and then they lit fires of many colours that danced upon the inner mountain walls and held weddings and fought duels of tongue and sword, and sometimes even threw their young around for sport. When their reign came to an end at the spring equinox, they gave themselves good cheer by remembering the most delightful human misfortunes. As they drank their whiskey, flavoured by the tears of widows and orphans, they exchanged the old tales of humans' most foolish drownings, of their spoiled harvests, catastrophic house fires, betrayed husbands, and ridiculous fashions. And as they grew drunker, a deeper resentment of humans emerged, and talk would turn to human weaknesses, our lying tongues, our oafishness, and general uselessness. It was upon the spring equinox one year, many hundreds of years ago, that the Queen looked down at the fairies of the court with her bored silver eyes and said, "If humans are so pathetic and so fragile, so far from being our equals, why is it that we are going to spend yet one more summer underground doing nothing while the sun shines in the sky?" Even if the fairies didn't completely keep up their end of the bargain and withhold from stealing babies or performing vicious pranks in the spring, the fairy queen's question could not easily be answered. Why should we, magical beings, share our power with these silly animals? We could easily crush them in an afternoon. Either we become real kings and queens in this place, or everyone should shut up with this weak and pointless and frankly unfairy-like complaining. The fairies of the court fell silent, an ecstatic silence of the kind you have after a good argument on a feast day or upon hearing your enemies weeping with despair. "My dear Queen," said the king, "for your solstice gift next year, you will have the double crown. You will wear not only the silver crown given by Mother Moon, but also the golden crown made by Father Sun, and we, you and I, will reign day and night, summer and winter, over the island of Collavar." The couple kissed and put their foreheads together, for this was how they concocted their most devious plans. Then, laughing with proud delight, they projected their black and silver thoughts onto the ceiling of the palace at the heart of the mountain of Ben Favar, and the fairies laughed and applauded and murmured amongst themselves about what a divine idea their monarchs had had. Now, The fairies, as magical beings, could, at any time, simply have performed a spell which put everyone upon the island and even the whole country called Scotland to sleep. But fairies have a style and needs that are not well understood by the human mind. You see, for a fairy, a victory must be poetic. It must be gained through a series of subtle and strange moves. In short, it must be an art form. And besides, even magic has its laws. Blood oaths, for example, are notoriously hard to break. The difficulty lies in escaping the consequences of breaking one. Oath breaking and dark spells in general work best when the victim agrees to their own fate, knowingly or unknowingly, that doesn't matter. But one must dig one's own tomb, thinking it's one's own idea, and preferably using bare hands. And so concludes the prologue to the tale of the Double Crown of Collavar. When you're ready, you'll find me sitting here again beside the fire to tell you the tale of beauty and human frailty, of magic and manipulation, and the fate of the royal line of the lost island of Collavar. Take courage out there where time runs fast and gravity holds us down, and I'll see you back here soon for the rest of the story.